Welcome to Showtime, your weekly dose of jaw-dropping stories, shocking revelations, and all the drama you didn't know you needed. From Nollywood bombshells to international celebrity chaos, we've got just hotter than traffic at rush hour. Let's dive right in. First off, a video circulating online has stirred hearts and raised eyebrows. Obasi Emmanuel, the estranged husband of actress Judy Austin, broke down in tears as he revealed he hasn't seen his 3 children in over 10 years. Obasi, who identifies as a pastor, claimed he and Judy were legally married before she allegedly vanished with their kids. Now he's unsure if they're even alive. In his words, he said, "She posts pictures of her kids with you, but never mine." And in a twist, he claimed there were attempts to bury him off. He is pleading that Judy allow him access to see his kids. On the flip side, actor Link Dochie's ex-wife Yinka Thiessen has now waded into the matter. Reacting to the saga, she called the situation ridiculous. In her words, there is no blame game that can explain a father not seeing his kids for 10 years. While not directly siding with Obasi, she made it clear something wasn't adding up. In music news, Burna Boy is finally addressing the heat from that controversial comment where he said he doesn't do Afro beats. During a recent podcast, Burna Boy explained that he coined the term Afrofusion early in his career, not to diss Afrobeats, but because his sound didn't quite fit the label. However, with some reflection, Burna admits he now understands why the Afrobeats umbrella matters for global recognition. "I get it now, and I apologize for the misunderstanding," he said. Meanwhile, veteran actress Tola Oladokun left fans stunned when she revealed she's never kissed anyone, not even her husband. In an interview on Talk to Denise, she said she hates kissing and won't even do it in a movie. Her exact words, "If someone tries it with me, we will fight." She made it clear lips are off limits. Still in Nollywood, actress Angela Okorie is back in the hospital, and it's because of bullet fragments from the 2019 assassination attempt that nearly took her life. In a video update, she revealed that pieces of the bullets are still being discovered inside her head 6 years after the attack. Fans will recall that Angela previously revealed that 10 bullets were left in her skull after gunmen attacked her in 2019. Now her health issues have resurfaced and doctors have placed her on bed rest. Whew, that is a lot. But there is more. This drug talk has me thinking. Someone needs to document issues like this so it can drive proper change needed. This reminds me of the interview I had a while back with someone who loves to document issues to drive change and foster development. Let's take a look. Welcome back to Showtime on Trust TV. Today we sit with a man who doesn't just tell stories, he documents the pulse of nations. From trade negotiation rooms to ancient markets and rural communities, his lens captures what the world often overlooks. He's the founder of Trade Media Group, a creative leader across continents and a champion for African documentary voices. Please help me welcome in the studio the brilliant Musa Sanusi Ahmad.
Thank you for having me.
It felt like you just took a deep breath, like, oh, okay, she's talking about me. Okay, all right. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you for having me, Chimelli, and it's a pleasure to be in your show.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to have you here. All right, so we're going to get quickly into the question because of time. So you operate at an intersection of trade, diplomacy, and documentary. So personally, I'd like to ask, what drew you to this type of unique blend of storytelling? Because it's really hard to get people who venture into these areas. So what drew you to it?
Growing up, my father was a banker,
okay,
a stockbroker, and a jover. And for every person who grown up in a house of a stockbroker, it's all about information. Someone who value information, someone who trade information, and a jover who can only bring 2 people, buyers and sellers, together when he understands their human needs and the markets and what the market is saying, both locally and internationally.
Yeah.
So growing up, my father will always bring newspapers, magazines, and I always ask myself what this man is doing with all this. And sometimes all he does is pim, pim, pim. That is all.
That's it.
That is it. And later on, I began to be that curious child who asks questions. What are you doing with all this? And you don't get tired of buying them every time, every day. He said he paid the bill via all the information he gathered this. And that is when my journey of started, of being passionate and being persuasive about what information can do. Because, and all of a sudden, information show me that information is power.
Yeah.
In 2007, 2008, there is what we call global economic meltdown that happens at the Wall Street in the US. And the market, the ripple effect of that market starts to be extended across the globe, including Nigeria Stock Exchange, the London Metal Exchange, and across board. And that affected my father. And that is when I realized that information is everything. Not just the errors of that happens at the Wall Street and a lot of fund managers in the US, the ripple effects come down. And because my father were able to get the information very early, he were able to curtail a lot of damages that does not affect him that in depth. And that opens my eyes to see that international relations is something that I am interested, and I'm interested to know about how trade deals were built, managed, negotiated, rebuilt, overhauled, and that is how I get to be pursued to start following. Oh, when I see that UK, US, Russia, Nigeria, US, Nigeria, Russia, I am fascinated what is going on between these countries, the relationships, the talks, the negotiations, and the dispute resolutions. I know you can remember a lot of issues that about a UK company that have been pursuing Nigeria to pay multi-billions of nairas. And at the end, Bakr Malami were able to curtail and negotiate something, a fair deal, even though Nigeria have get it wrong legally, but they were able to negotiate something with the other countries, and the deal the dispute were settled amicably. So I am passionate to be following all these trade deals. Maybe US, UK, or nowadays China, US-China relationships is one of the most followed relationships nowadays. I want us to be documenting all this process, and that is when I started being fascinated by saying, okay, I started when I get some dollars. I do a lot of internet stuff. I get some dollars. I contracted the service of photographers in the US, maybe in the UK or in Belgium with the European Union. I say, okay, some negotiators are going to be around. I got the information. All I wanted to go and take me these pictures, and it goes down to videos. And all of a sudden, this material I have in my library start to becoming a treasure, whereby a media houses, international media houses call me and say, oh, we need a picture. And someone say, you have it, or you own it. And before you know, I get some paychecks. And as time goes on, I got to realize that, oh, I can do more. Legal firms, loving firms start reaching out to me. Hey, we are working on so thing. Can you be part of it? I say, okay, why not? And they say, okay, we believe you have a network of photographers under you across the world. Can you give us access? We believe you have a network of videographers who understand the terrain, who understand all this international trade relations thing, and understand trade unions. Why not, please? We need your service. And that is when I started leveraging all my networks and all things, and started getting into building a library. And before all that thing, I started getting that thing. I just get my hand dirty in the area of film production. Okay. Because as a film producer, typically you are a fixer. Everybody can. Exactly. People said, oh, I need this, I need that access. I can't get access visa to Nigeria, or I can't get access to visa to Niger. And lately, I work a lot in Congo. A lot of international media houses are suffering to get visa to enter Congo. I make that possible as a fixer, and still I leverage my networks. I leverage my friends, photographers, who for the years I've been giving jobs, who are Congolese, who are Ugandans people. I have been giving them jobs. Now they know that when I call, they know that, hey, this guy is serious. They connect me to people. I'm telling you, in the last 8 months, I've been to Congo to and fro severally, and I get access to rebel leaders, which some diplomats, some intelligence people want to have access to those people. But media people pay me as a film producer to get them access to those people. And still I leverage my relationships. And those relationships give me access. And that is when I keep pushing and keep pushing. And before you know, opportunities began to widen. And as a creative in the media world, you have to understand that the industry is full of opportunities. Even in the advent of AI, is full of opportunities. Before that, I'm a curious child, and I understand I love problem solving, and I'm fascinated by all the tools behind us. When the first time I see iPhone, I ask a lot of questions. The first time I see a lot of if you can make it better, I see cars, I see aeroplanes. I'm fascinated by air. Again, I believe all these questions as a creative give me an avenue where I felt like,
widen your network and knowledge.
And that is when I began to understand the human needs for creative works, the human needs for information, and the human needs for interactive design that are human, not just design that are just there. Design that solve problems. And I get involved, and we started a company, a design solution creation firm with a mutual friend. And that design company, we were able to secure jobs via gig economy platforms like Upwork and Glimmer and all other marketplace for gig economy. A lot of international companies start contracting us for designs. I'm not a trained architect, but I get jobs for architects. I'm not a medical doctor. I get jobs for medical doctors. Because architect companies, OEMs and ODMs company, I mean original manufacturing companies and original design manufacturers, they reach out to me and said, we want you to help us evaluate and humanize these designs. So company, international design company, designed it, but your expertise is in infusing art, science, and policy together to that design, which is bringing those designs to life. Because human being at the end of it, they're going to use it. So we start getting those gig economy, and we start getting those jobs done. We start getting referrals, and quite often as you go further, you got to realize that still community is everything.
Yes, it is.
And we get involved in
a lot of community building.
Community building around all the design, the creative works, and that lets me to even get a TEDx license, involving TEDx event organizing other creative events, gatherings, and that is much more. And
so we're just going to, because you this is like a lot, and I'm actually learning a lot from you, but also just for us to push it back to documentaries as well, you know, for film journalism and all of that. First, one of the questions that I had, I feel like you've touched it a bit, but there's still a couple of things that you might have to say to that effect. For all this process, whether the community building or getting access or how you began or all of that, I'm sure there must have been a process, or there is a process, you know, that you apply when you have to create maybe your creative angle when it comes to, involving or intersecting the policy, trade, diplomacy, all of that, right? So I would like to know, what is your process like from getting, intersecting those complex international trade policies to documenting them, to making documentaries, to like all of that? What is your process like? Just streamline them for us.
Growing up, I'm fascinated by information.
Yeah.
So all I believe is the first thing human being needs is the ability to respect. And after respect is the ability to have an honest conversation.
Yes.
And after honest conversation, anything is all about honest understanding.
Mm-hmm.
So my process is always, I respect ideas, I respect creative process.
Mm-hmm.
But more than ever that I respect seeing people documenting real-time events.
Yeah.
So when I heard, for example, now, as we speak, this year is the busiest year for trade negotiators.
Okay.
And be it for Nigerians, be it for the US negotiators, trade negotiators, to the UK trade negotiator, it's the busiest year in the human history.
Okay.
So I got to understand, I need to have focused. What will be of value that in years to come, people will really like to sit down, read, watch it, see it, read it, and that thing can help them make a very fair, understandable decision.
Yeah.
So I see that, okay, I cannot be everywhere and I don't have the resources to be everywhere because every country are negotiating deals every day. And these deals were negotiated for a reason, to make the life of their countrymen better and to create jobs for their people and have a very fair, good life. So I said, I would like to follow BRICS countries and how their behavior toward the China, US activities and how their negotiators are responding to that.
Yeah.
And the first thing I started is I get to work. I just mobilize resources and get to work. What I have, I use it. I start small. I always believe in using what I have to do what I can be able to do.
Yeah.
So I mobilize resources and I bring people together. And when I bring people together, I do that job. I make sure that I start reaching out to the people that have interest in that job, be it selling them the raw footage or be it being in partnership with them to take the job to the next level. And being with the nature of the industry, the bit I covered, which is the international trade relations and trade unions, they are very sensitive stops. I always struggle with access, getting access. So I got to understand that the first thing I always have in my process is getting access. I make sure I reach out to people. I started, but more than anything, it's all about, it started with the information. You have to be following what is going on.
Exactly.
You have to understand what is going on. And you don't have to just understand it. You don't have to just have it or see it. You have to be honestly, you have
involved
and honestly understood it. Sometimes you got to have a bias. For example, okay, why Nigeria is not getting any benefit from international market, despite Nigeria being the populous nation of a black
communities
in
or
the world,
countries,
in the world. And why are we having issues when it comes to securing visa? Why every country is getting it very easier to disrespect Nigerians? Why a lot of Nigerians are getting declined, not issued visa? And our country leaders, our negotiators are doing nothing. And when you see that thing, if you have to be biased, you have to say that they are working, they are doing that. But if you have to be honest, they are not working. If they are working, a lot of people won't have challenges they are having. And the minute they had that, oh, US are declining visa for Nigerians at so rate, they will caution US. They will, the presidency will call the ambassador of Nigeria, what is going on?
Yeah.
Go and come and present us data.
Yeah.
Any Nigerian who is applying for visa, he will always provide you with all the necessary documents before it proceed. Are these documents not legit?
Yeah, of course.
Because any person who apply for visa will make sure that he meet all the necessary requirements. So in that case, you have to be honest to yourself that these people are not working and they don't have interest.
All right, so I'm just going to ask you one last question, and I would like you to just give us some pointers, right? Because you are a co-creator of film development program for Africans. And you are very, very passionate about African storytelling, preserving data, documenting data, and all of that. So I would like to ask you, when it comes to documentary making, what gaps do you think are there in African documentary filmmaking, and how do you think they should be filled? Just very briefly. And then which ones are you most passionate about, talking about?
Okay, for African documentary makers and documentary creators is one thing.
Yeah.
It's all about access. It's all about access, and then I would say resources, which is more funds. When I talk of access, it's like you are trying to document the health crisis in Nigeria, or you want to document the issue of budget. Let me see, the budget, or nowadays the constitutional amendment issues that is rising. For a serious documentarian who is passionate about policy making or legislation, he will say, okay, now is the best time for me to start documenting. And my documentary should be ready like 6 months after the amendment was done. So for him to get access
to that information
data, to get access to all the constitutional amendment activities, I'm telling you, it's not possible myself unless it's by luck. Okay. But in a normal circumstances, it's supposed to be like, oh, I'm a documentary filmmaker. I write to the clerk of the National Assembly, and I want to document the constitutional amendment activities, and this is my plan. You say, okay, we want to take you along, provide all the necessary documents. Maybe you said, okay, are you as a company, provide all the necessary requirement, maybe tax clearance to say that, oh, this guy is a Nigerian, he's needed, and it's a serious business. And before they know, they give you clearance and they give you access. And after that, I'm telling you, after the amendment, people say, oh, this is what happened. This senator is coming for the meetings. This committee member is doing that, and how the involvement of the Nigerians in airing their opinions, involving their opinions and their needs in that amendment, and much more. So I believe it's access. And second is fund. We have issues of funds.
Of funding, yes.
Because funding is everything. You can't just start anything today and think it will happen. Everything needs money, and money gives fees. Okay. That fees will help you. And you will need a lot of people. If you are to do, like, for example, I tell you, I collaborate with people. I give people jobs. I can do photography. I can do cinematography, but I always prepare to give this job to other people because they do it better. I know area of my strength is directing. I'm a good in directing, and if you give me to work as a producer for your film, like a tragedy or a drama, I'm telling you, I will fail terribly. But if you give me a film producer to get you access, to get you whatever you want on the field for a documentary job,
you can do that.
I can deliver that. Or for your event, I can deliver that. But those people cannot come for free.
Yes. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. They are about to sweep us out of the studio. So for not letting that happen, we're just going to wrap up right now. Thank you. This has been an amazing conversation. And I want us to continue this conversation on a personal level because I am actually learning quite a lot from you. Thank you very much for coming on the show. Thank you. It's been a very wonderful sit-down session with you here today.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate being here. And I am a champion of entertainment media, and I have done a lot in the entertainment media and media entrepreneurship, and I understand the value of information. Wherever I see people working in gathering, processing, and selling information, I really love it. So thank you for having me.
All right, thank you so much. This was such an inspiring conversation, a lot to unpack, and definitely a key area we need to look into as an industry. Thank you for joining us today on Showtime on Trust TV. Join us again next week for another thrilling and interesting episode.